I don't know the magic words here to start the meeting. We call the meeting to order.
That's it.
Is there an incantation?
Well, this is the Economic Development Committee meeting on October 2nd, 2019.
Douglas, Massachusetts.
All right,
Present is our Chairman Luke,
that's me.
Co-Chairman Bob, and Carol Gogolinsky.
Right.
Not present is Paul Peterson and Brad Maltz. But we do have a quorum,
Yes, we do.
Good.
so we're good to go.
Would you like to review the notes from last meeting?
Sure.
It's not too much there. We didn't have any big updates. We discussed potentially having a booth at Oktoberfest,
Mhm.
Which is this weekend.
which is this weekend. I think we were going to get a flyer or an ad put together. I don't think that happened.
Too late now to get a booth, do
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So I think we're out there.
No, your historical booth.
Yeah.
I still need access to the town website to put stuff up there. And I was going to ask Matt if we could use the EDC budget for the photography thing, the beautification project. I did. But we can talk about that later. So let's start this week's meeting. Does anybody have any big updates for us?
Bob and I went to a meeting, he could fill you in on it.
Let's do it.
And that's one of our agenda items, the MEDC meeting. It's stands for Massachusetts Economic Development Council. It was held in Southbridge last Thursday. Carol and I attended, represented the EDC and the town of Douglas. The couple of things we get out of it was they explained cogeneration, cogen for short.
What is that?
It's a process where you utilize the waste heat off an engine.
Okay.
So if you think of a typical power plant, they generate electricity. There's a lot of waste heat.
Yeah.
The one down in Rhode Island, you see the waste heat escaping as huge, big clouds. That's just waste heat, never to be recovered, never to be used. That power plant is, I assume, was 40% efficiency. Cogens use all the waste heat. It's a natural gas engine, could be a diesel engine. Natural gas engine is better. And the byproduct, it drives a generator, makes electricity. But its number one purpose is to produce heat, which in a power plant is wasted. In a cogen facility, it is all used. So you're looking at 90–95% efficiencies for cogen plants. And they size them a little different. They look first at the thermal load, and like the American Optical building, Chip Norton's plant project there. His cogen facility will be using the waste heat to heat the buildings. So he has a high thermal load. With the 100% usage of all the waste heat, they now size the generator. They know what they need for heat, they know what the engine will produce for heat, and byproduct is electricity, which they sell back to the grid.
And they can estimate how much.
The excess they sell back to the grid. They do use most of it on site. The thing, now you might think, well, the heating buildings is good, what do you do in the summer? Well, you're looking at 250 degree, 280 degree hot water coming off these engines. They can now turn chillers, condensers. In other words, they can run an air conditioner. So they're utilizing 100% of the waste heat. So cogens are a thing of the future.
How much do they cost to make in comparison to old gens?
You need a heat source to have a cogen. You just can't build a warehouse and put a cogen in it.
You have to be on
Because you
line.
have to have a place to get rid of the heat, the waste heat, to use the waste heat. The Southbridge Innovation Centers, they call it, it had a hotel, it had offices, conference rooms. It had a pretty sizable usage for waste heat, winter and summer. So cogeneration was one of the items that Carol and I looked at. The other one was the hydro, and we got pretty much interested in that.
Right.
We have 2 dams in Douglas, and they have these, and I forgot the name of the screw.
Archimedes screw.
Archimedes screw. And it's supposed to be fish safe.
Yep.
They install it on a dam with a sluway.
Spin like that.
Okay.
The water
It-
goes through it.
it's basically
Fish
an-
safe, they can swim through it?
Yeah.
It's basically an auger,
Yeah.
Okay.
and it moves slowly. It moves, I think he said 60 RPMs, which is 1 RPM, 1
Yeah.
revolution per second. 60
It's big enough
RPMs,
the
it's
fish
very
can swim
slow.
right through it.
And because it's an auger, the fish get caught in the swirl and follow it right through. They have different types of augers. They have, for low head pressure, large volumes, and then they have small volumes with high head pressure. So they can size the screw to any size dam. So Carol and I will be pursuing that gentleman to see on a feasibility of the 2 Douglas dams. 5 to 7 year payback, I believe he said, for purchasing, and then it's free after that. It would sell, the only thing it produces is electricity. Drives a generator, which is replaced, I think, 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
The screw itself, the auger, and all the bearings and the gearbox, that's pretty much a lifetime investment. I was impressed with that. And then we get into National Grid Smart Program, which didn't affect any of our projects, maybe a solar project coming up, but
Right.
there was nothing we could get out of the National Grid Smart Program. But the big thing was the hydroelectric facility in Southbridge. They're doing both the cogen and the hydro. So that's basically an update from the MEDC meeting that Carol and I attended, so.
And when we're talking about this cogen, in case anybody's listening at home, they think we're talking about a power plant like down in Berryville. That's not what we're talking about.
No, it is.
These are like self-contained things that work just on one particular, to do one particular facility. So they're actually pretty small.
The average size
Yeah.
cogen, if you think of your locomotive on a train.
Right.
It's that size,
Yeah.
one engine.
Yeah.
That diesel engine that
Yeah.
runs that one locomotive,
Yeah.
that's about the size of this natural gas engine. Now you think about a turbine would be more efficient than a recip engine. You want the more inefficient engine because it's going to produce the
More
most
heat.
heat. A turbine would be efficient,
Right.
but it produces little heat. The reason for a cogen is to produce heat.
Right.
So they use a reciprocating engine, and they feed it with natural gas, and they capture all the waste heat off of it. And of course, it turns a shaft, and that shaft in turn turns a generator through a gearbox. Produces, its byproduct is really electricity, so it is, like Carol said, for anybody listening, it is not
Not.
a power plant.
No, it's not.
Cogen and power plants, different animals,
That's totally
apples and
different, yeah.
oranges.
Well, that sounds super interesting.
And the thing is that, in Douglas, we do have gas going through. Unfortunately, none of it's been tapped. And it's like $4 million to do one of these taps.
$4 to $5 million
So
to
that-
tap a gas line, because you're reducing 600 PSI
Yeah.
pressure to 60 PSI.
But, if you get a big enough facility, and they did that, not only would we possibly get them with the gas, but we might get gas in the rest of the town too.
Now,
Which
one
would
of
be
us,
really great.
one of our schools could use a cogen
Mhm.
plant, because you'd have a high thermal
Right,
load.
right, yep.
And you would,
Are there any risks associated with the cogen? Like, if heat's a byproduct, is there any explosion risks, or are they safe?
No,
It
it's-
just gets hot and it's hot.
I think
just
they're pretty
the
safe.
same as the
yeah.
train going through your town, on your town tracks.
Sounds good to me.
It's the same engine that's in your automobile or your truck or your bus
Yeah,
or 10-wheelers.
it's pretty interesting.
It's a
Yeah.
big engine. It's,
And then they got into how, you know, they fund these things and banks, how they look at them and stuff like that. So it was pretty interesting.
yeah. It was a good meeting.
It was a good meeting.
It was a good
well worth
3-hour
going
meeting.
to. Yeah. So,
Very good.
So that was item number 2, I think, on today's
Just
agenda.
looking at the agenda, 'cause I'm a slacker.
I forgot to print it out.
I did want to talk to you about the sweepstakes type thing that we were talking about.
Yeah.
I had asked the EDC to use a bit of the budget to put together a beautification project for the town, send
Mhm.
people out to try and take pictures. Well, we can't do that, you're right, we can't have sweepstakes, but what we could do, if we were so inclined, is offer to buy the licensing to the photo that is the most popular for marketing purposes.
oh,
So purchase the photo and then use that photo.
Yeah. We'll say we'll purchase the best photo. We'll use that in one of our ads.
yeah,
And
we gotta,
who picks the photos?
well, I guess we'd have to have a little committee that do that, right?
we
Be the 5 of us, have to be the 5
Maybe
of
the,
us.
Yeah.
the cultural council. Maybe.
Well, yeah, I think we ought to stick it with the EDC because they might be more interested in birds and we're more interested
You're
in
right.
bringing in business, so
Yeah.
I think we need
It would
to,
have to be business oriented
Yeah.
if we're going to buy it without budget.
so, you know, and we could find out if we could set a price that we're willing to pay and then it's gonna be whether or not they wanna sell their photo for that price.
Yep.
But I think a lot of people probably wouldn't because it's not so much the money as to see their photo
In use.
in use and get, you know, credit for it.
So, I would like to propose that we put aside $250 for that.
Okay, we could go maybe even buy like 3 or 4 photos and
I like that.
instead of
idea
doing
better.
$250 for one, say, or $50 a piece or sliding scale or something.
All right, I don't want to siphon off too much of the EDC budget, but
Right.
$250 seems like that's something. That's
It does.
somebody could get dinner with that, you know.
Yeah.
As long as it's above board and it's
Right,
legal.
right.
Yep.
As long as we can do it.
We
yeah.
checked with
And we get it.
with town council,
Town
and
council.
town council's happy, so
Okay.
we should be able
So-
to do that. And also,
I mean, if we could get enough of them, we could, you know, do they kind of like do slides or something on these things?
could.
You're more of a tech person than I
yeah, we
am.
could use them. We could make a slideshow and put it on
Yeah.
the EDC Facebook page or
Yeah,
something like
something
that.
like that.
Definitely. So
Use 100 and then a bunch of 10s
There you go.
to get us, in these slideshow,
Or
you
20s
need
or
pictures.
something.
you need-
or just have a top 3 and everybody else. I mean, everybody can be included, but only the top 3 get.
Right, and they would have
Cash
to,
prize.
if they want us to
Not
use that
prize.
picture, they'd have to give us permission, that's all.
Yeah. Right.
If they were willing to give us permission,
So I can put that together if
it
that's
sounds pretty
something you
good,
guys
yeah.
want to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was noticing that for a long time, I'm looking at, all there was a picture, looking at the Chinese restaurant going up the street. I thought, boy, this is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Not that I'm against the Chinese
Yeah.
restaurant, but
Just
this
didn't
is
look
pretty
good.
bad. There's better stuff in Douglas than that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And also, I just wanted to talk to you about the Heirloom Food Company. One of a citizen came up to me and said, "You're on the Economic Development Commission. You have to call the Heirloom Food Company and have them come out to Douglas. I want them to expand and bring their great heirloom food here."
Huh.
So I was like, I don't know if that do so well in Douglas, an organic
Really?
kind of place like that. But if you want to give them a call and see if they're interested in any sort of expansion opportunities, you're welcome to do that. And I checked back in with her a few weeks ago, and she said, I called them, but I don't think they really took me very seriously. So I was like, all right, I'll call them.
Yeah,
And then I called the Heirloom Food Company, and the lady on the phone was so proud to get that phone call from somebody from the town.
really?
That somebody wants her food enough that they would tell their representatives
Yeah.
to call and get them to come. And they said they're not thinking about expanding right away, but they would definitely keep Douglas in mind. And that made me want to just call more places and be
Yeah.
like, hey. Because she was so proud of her business that day. Like, it made her day. It was
Oh,
a cool
wow.
thing.
Where's she
That's good.
located?
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
And what do they sell?
They sell organic food, sandwiches, and space, I think, That's my understanding from Shelley. I haven't been there, but I guess it's kind of a pub-style hangout
Okay.
place where you
Huh.
can do your work from home or whatever. Yuppie place.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Like a Starbucks.
Yeah, kind of, but with healthy food, I
Healthy
guess.
food.
It'd be
Healthy
nice to have
farm to
some
table type
healthy
food.
food.
Right. And that's all we've got on the agenda. Does anybody have anything else to discuss today?
I don't think
There were
so.
more items on the agenda, weren't there? Or
No, there was the Heirloom Food Company, there was MEDC, and then we've got the Downtown Beautification Project, and then open session.
Okay. Is anybody, what's going on with Wolf Energy there? Did you stop and see them? They were in where Tatro used to be, like doing solar and everything.
Oh,
It seems
wow.
like an expanding company.
Yeah.
Brad had said they want to set up headquarters here. They have
Yeah.
a small building on 146.
Yeah.
There used to be an old stove place.
Oh, I know where it is, yeah.
Right before as you're going
Yeah.
towards Millbury.
Yeah, yeah, on the left-hand side.
On the
yeah,
left-hand
yeah,
Is
side,
it
right
called-
before the
yeah.
construction.
Right, yeah,
And that's where they were operating out of. They bought this or leased this
Yep,
facility
yep.
for a warehouse type
Yeah.
of facility, and Brad said they want to make this their
oh,
headquarters,
that'd be nice,
which would be real nice.
especially if
So-
they continue to expand.
So if they expand, I know Grainger Tech has the other building
Yeah,
still
right.
vacant,
That's one's vacant too, oh, I didn't know that.
and he does have land for sale in the back.
Oh.
So there might be other possibilities there for warehousing.
Oh, that'd be great.
But I heard they want to use that as a distribution type warehouse,
Oh.
store all their solar
Yeah,
products.
oh, that's great.
Because you don't use one solar panel, they have A to Z in solar
no
panels, so you
kidding.
need to stock those.
And batteries too, right? Don't they have a lot of batteries?
Do they have
and a lot of
batteries?
space?
Batteries is coming into play right now. I don't
Yeah.
have batteries on my system, but I'm
Oh.
looking
No,
into
very
it.
few people do,
Oh,
They're,
Yeah,
they're
well-
expensive and
But they-
not good,
but they're working on them.
yeah.
They think eventually they'll get, I see now they're working on a battery that's just, like you can cut it, it's like a piece of paper. It's stuff like that. So you're gonna see, when they finally get this battery thing down,
Mhm.
this is gonna be so fantastic. I mean, it's gonna, because I haven't been in the building business years ago, this is gonna open up a lot of places. Because sometimes it costs you so much to bring electricity to where you wanna put a house, it's not worth it.
Right.
Right, and solar is only in the daytime.
Right,
At
right.
nighttime,
So you need to have
you
those
have to go on the
batteries.
grid, so if you
Yeah.
have the batteries, you could charge the batteries during the day and power your systems at night.
Yeah,
Now, at that conference we went to on
Yeah,
Thursday,
yeah.
they showed National Grid showed a building with a battery pack.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a building of batteries.
right. But I think you're gonna see that, as the technology continues, you're gonna see that. I remember going, when I was in art school 50-some years ago, and going up to MIT and seeing one of the first computers, it was like the, like the size of this
Yeah.
building, you know?
PC Junior
And,
with the punch cards.
So that's how far they've come, but I think eventually what you're gonna see is you'll see this, these batteries, you'll see this whole thing set up, it'll be in a wall, and it'll be just, pop, you're gonna put it in, plug it in, and it's gonna be all done ahead of time. I don't know if it's gonna be in my lifetime, but it's definitely coming.
That's
So I
close.
think they
Probably.
make strides every year.
Oh, yeah, coming a long way.
So, yeah, as far as Wolf Solar, I think they're,
I believe a few months back, Paul was going to go talk to him and just have just a quick chat and
Mhm.
see if there's anything we could do to help the solar business in town. I'm not sure if he did that or not. But we can. Does somebody want to do that?
I thought
could
that
go talk to him.
maybe Paul did go, so we'll see next time Paul comes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's one of the newer businesses that's coming in.
Yeah, I saw him at Dynamic Douglas Day. They set up a
Oh, did
booth, and
they?
they had a werewolf guy in a suit dancing
Oh,
around.
okay.
It's cool. Is there anything else we want to take care of between now and the next meeting? Any action items? Anything that we need to move forward?
Not that I can think of.
not really. Hopefully some of these projects we've got in the works will be surfacing.
Yeah.
We put out tendrils, and eventually something will stick.
Yep.
We're working, trying to
Okay.
get stuff together.
Well, if we don't have anything else, then I would propose that we end this meeting.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I
Excellent.
second it.
Closed.
Where are we gonna
Meeting
vote?
closed.
Oh.
I vote,
I vote.
I vote.
Aye.
Vote.
We vote.